Okay, I am Daniel with Rex's Retrocade and Party Rentals, and this is another video about not only my journey of starting and growing my party rental company, but also about just being an entrepreneur, running your own business in general, starting your own business in general. Today I want to talk about just saying no. I think this is a mistake that a lot of newer or smaller businesses make. And it's kind of something that's hard to nail down exactly, but basically the idea is when somebody asks you to do something that is not in the best interest of your business, you should say no. When I first started my other business, my windshield repair company, I said yes to a few things that I should not have probably. I worked on days where it was a little colder than it should have been, and I was miserable out there trying to fix windshields. Fixed a few chips that probably were a little bigger than I should have fixed, that kind of thing. Not a lot, but it was. And the biggest mistake though that I made was there were, when I first started, my price was $35 for a rock chip, and the other shops in town were mostly charging $40. And I would still get calls from people, all I've got's 30. Can you do it for 30? Will you do it for 20? Will you do it for 25? And there were a couple of times where I was just trying to get some business, any business, and I did a rock chip for $30 instead of the 35 that I was charging. Eventually, I realized that what set me apart was the quality of the work that I did, that my repairs were better than other companies, that I could fix things that other companies couldn't fix. And I ended up raising my prices to $40 like all the other reputable shops in town were charging. I stopped trying to compete with the guy that was charging $25 and hanging out at the gas station in front of Walmart, but he didn't have a name for his business. He didn't have insurance. He didn't have an actual company. It was just some guy hanging out, and so he didn't have warranties either. He didn't take care of his customers. If he didn't do a good job and it started to crack later, it was the customer's problem because they didn't know how to get a hold of the guy. He didn't have a Facebook page. He didn't have a website. Nothing. It's not a legitimate business. The same is true with my party rental business. I live in a city that's a fairly large city. There's about 265,000 people here. But it's surrounded by lots of smaller cities, anywhere from 500 or 600 people up to maybe 10 to 15,000. But they're quite a distance away. The closest ones are like 6-7 miles, and they're the smaller ones, the ones that are between 600 and 2,500 people. The ones that are 10 or 15,000 are like 45-minute drive away, but they still call businesses in Lubbock because we're really the closest big city that has everything that you would want. So these smaller towns call businesses in Lubbock for the things that they need, and it's really easy for my rock chip business to say, I'm sorry, I'm not driving 45 minutes or an hour and a half to do a $40 rock chip. Everybody gets that. So when they come to Lubbock to do grocery shopping or whatever, they schedule appointments then, and I take care of them. With my party rental business, it's a little bit different in that you don't just, when you're coming into town, have a birthday party usually. People want to have their birthday party in the city that they live in so that their friends and family can come. Lots of times they want to have it at their house, that kind of thing. And so it's a little bit of a different situation. So I had to make some choices when it comes to what is my service area? How big of an area am I going to cover here with this party rental business? I got calls almost immediately to do parties with our mobile arcade bus. One of them is in a city called Plainview. That's, I don't know, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour away. And I also got a call to do a party in a place that's called Denver City. It's an hour and 45 minutes away. But again, we're still the closest big city, and they come here a lot for shopping and medical treatment and that sort of thing. And I had to decide, I'm a brand new business, and the first two people that call to rent my arcade party bus, one of them's 45 minutes away, one of them is an hour and 45 minutes away. Do I take those jobs or not? And I had to consider, it's more miles on the bus, it's more drive time for either me or one of my partners, it's the wear and tear on the bus, the wear and tear on the games, because you know, as you're driving down the road, bouncing up and down, sooner or later things break in the games. It just happens. It's part of the business model, part of the cost of doing business. But the more miles you drive, the more bumps you hit. You see where I'm going. And then on top of that, you have the rising fuel costs. The bus runs on diesel. Right now, the cheapest place in this city to get diesel is $4.05 a gallon, which, depending on where you live, may be good or bad, but everybody would agree that's way more expensive than the $1.79 that it was for diesel a year and a half ago. Not only the diesel for the bus, but also there are two generators that we use to run the bus as far as powering the games, the lights, the heat, the air conditioning, that kind of thing. And so, and that's a fuel cost too, and those are high right now. So I had to take all this into account when I was dealing with these people. And now, don't get me wrong, you know, you don't have to be mean, you don't have to be rude, but I just very simply responded to them when they texted and said, you know, thank you for your interest in renting our Retrocade party bus. We appreciate it. However, at this time, we are only serving Lubbock and Wolfforth, which is a city right next to Lubbock, and it's either a suburb or it's almost like it's part of Lubbock. Lubbock is right against it. There's no distance between the two. So for business purposes with both my businesses, I treat it like it's two businesses. And I had to tell them, I'm sorry, it's just too far. We can't do that. Now, whatever it is, you're going to come up with a situation where you're going to have to decide, do I say no or not? If you're a food truck, you're going to get somebody, hey, we'd like you to come and set up outside our business during lunchtime because we think it would be great for our employees. Okay, how many employees do you have? Well, we've got 6 employees. As a food truck, unless they want to pay the extra to cover what you would have made if you went somewhere else, you're going to have to say no, because 6 people is not enough sales to cover you setting up. If a church calls me and says, hey, we're doing an event for our youth group, we'd like to have your arcade bus here, but we don't have any budget to pay for it. But you know, it's a church with 500 people that attend on Sundays, so it'd be really good publicity for you, and you'll probably get a lot more rentals. You have to decide when to say yes and when to say no. Now, there are times where, as a new business, you might want to say yes. I'm doing an event with a bunch of food trucks with my arcade bus this coming Sunday, and the food trucks are going to be making money. I'm not going to be making any money. I'm going to be doing it for free, but because there's going to be, you know, a couple of thousand people literally come through, and they're going to see my bus and get to see the games inside and play a little bit of them for free. I'm hoping that that will turn into more business down the road. And that's, you know, the similar situation that I described before, where a church wants you to do an event for free, or a school wants you to do an event for free. You have to decide, can I afford to do that? Is it cost effective? Is my return on that? If you think doing that event for free is going to get you enough exposure that it will more than pay for you having done it, then great, do it. Okay, I'm not trying to discourage you not to, because like I said, I'm doing this event for free, but you just need to understand, this is kind of a one-off event, and so it's not as big a deal. But if you do, say, First Baptist's event, and you do it for free, somebody hears about it, and so First Methodist calls up and wants you to do their event for free. You kind of opened up a can of worms. If you're doing an event for a school, if you do it for free, or even if you do it for a discount, are you willing to do that in the future? You know, school says, well, we'd like you to do it for half of what you normally do because it's a charity situation, because it's the school. Great. Are you willing to rent or do their event for half price forever? Are they going to expect that the next time that you call? Are all the other schools in that district going to expect that half price? Are you setting yourself up for doing a whole lot of work for very little profit down the road? Now, I don't have a problem. Again, you know, if you want to say we do a 5% discount for schools, we do a 5% discount for churches, great. That's your policy. Stick with it. But don't do, well, we gave this church 50% off, but we're only going to give this one 5%. Learn, you know, set your policies, learn to say no, learn to do what's best for your business. If you're not going to get enough out of it, if it's going to actually cost you money and time and effort to do that business, but you're not getting paid for it, is the exposure you're getting. The old classic thing that I've heard a whole lot is bands that are starting out trying to get exposure playing in bars. A lot of bar owners would want them to play for free and tell them you're getting exposure. That may be true. And if you're a band that has never played anywhere, and doesn't have any fans, You might want to do that once or twice. But if you're a band that has been playing the bar circuit or club circuit or whatever in the city that you live in for 3 years, and you've got some fans and you're looking to get a record deal, you're not playing at bars for free. You are, you expect to get paid because people are paying for tickets. They're paying to come see you, and the bar owner is making all the money, and you're not making anything, but you're still doing it for exposure. At some point, you have to say, no, this is my business. This is my job. I need to get paid. Don't be rude. Don't be insensitive, but get paid. Learn to say no. And I'm well over my 10-minute mark. I'm at 15 minutes, and I know I've kind of rambled. So I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Plus, I got to get back to work on one of my businesses. But you get the idea. It's okay to say no. Figure out what your business needs and go with it. Don't feel bad about asking to get paid for the work that you do, for the service that you provide, for the items that you sell. If you want to give a discount, great, but think about it. Don't just give it because you feel like you have to. I'll see you next time.